All right, friends, good morning to you. It is now 10:31 in the morning at the City of Fountains, and beautiful blue skies are out there. We're already warming up, friends. It's already at 65 whopping degrees. The average high temperature for us about 48 at the end of February for this time of year, right? Well, we're only climbing with these temperatures only to drop by 60 degrees or thereabouts within about a 12-hour period. That is wild weather that is going to be impacting us as we move forward into the next 24 hours. So good morning to you guys. First Warn 5 meteorologist Greg Bennett. It's been a hot second since I've been here on your social media and live stream to give you some big updates and weather. But man, oh man, does Mama Nature have something set in store for us. We've been dealing with these beautiful spring-like conditions, nearly getting into the beginning of summer with some of these temperatures, highs in the upper 70s. Well, not so much as we move into the next 24 hours. We have got ourselves a first warn on deck, friends, and it is coming in with a cold front and low pressure system combination, both of which have actually kind of converged here around the Missouri River Valley. The cold front itself dipping in from the north, but the upper level low actually coming out from the south and starting to hitch a ride on this cold front. It's already done so, and it's already impacting us as we speak. But when it comes down to it, the first warn is going to be pretty wild for us. So this is what's going on. Yet another day of record-breaking warmth. Yesterday, we hit a high temperature of 77 degrees. The record was 76, and that was set in 1896, a 128-year-old record. Wild stuff out there. I believe during that time of 1896, what Tootsie Rolls were just being invented. Kind of wild. But as we move forward in time, we're going to drop those temperatures significantly and bring in a winter weather threat. Let's keep moving forward here. I want to show you kind of the play-by-play of what we're going to be dealing with. This is what it looks like as we move forward into Wednesday early morning, but I actually want to back this up just a little bit because that's not necessarily the beginning of it. The beginning is closer to around the mid-evening that we're going to be dealing with this. So you can see a little bit of a wintry mix possibly popping up near the metro just ahead of the front itself. This is around 8 p.m. in some of our models. Others are indicating closer to around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But we're definitely seeing signs of this beginning this evening today, and will then envelop our early morning Wednesday. Let's move forward now into our Wednesday morning with this. And as you can see, we start to see a big switch over maybe around 11 p.m. tonight to now specifically flurry or snowflake action for us. Notice the coloration to this map. The darker the blues we get, the more and more heavy the snowfall is going to be for us. And right now, very, very light shades of blue here. This means that it could be maybe just flurry action or just a very light dusting that we're dealing with as it continues to move through the area. Now, this is going to be a short-lived situation for us. And in fact, I'm expecting all of this snow to be gone, especially for the metro, before you even wake up tomorrow morning. All right, by the time you actually head out the door, maybe 6 or 7 a.m., this should be long gone. You don't have to worry about flakes falling out of the sky, but what's left over is going to be on those roadways and your neighborhood and your front yard, your backyard, all right? I'm not too worried, technically, about the snowfall amounts. Now, we could see some ice happen here, especially because of the temperature variation that will ensue for us. So that's something we have to be cautious about, and you want to give yourself some extra time for sure. But are we talking 2, 3, 4 inches of accumulation? Are we talking a foot of snowfall? Absolutely not. And in fact, I really don't see us getting over a half an inch of accumulation within the metro itself. Let me show you actually what we're looking at in our forecast model data. It's popping up right here for you. This goes clear on through the actual event itself. And yeah, a dusting to maybe an inch. And when it comes down to the inch of accumulation, that is exceptionally isolated. And it's looking more likely maybe around St. Joe as the best area to possibly get to an inch. But even so, it's more likely around 3/4 of an inch. To the actual metro itself, it's more likely to be around 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. That's just enough to basically blanket your front yard with white, and that's it. By the time we get into the next day, our Thursday forecast, all of that's going to be melted and long gone for us. What I'm mostly concerned with is where we go with the temperature. I'm going to show you this. This is a wild, weather ride that we're on here, friends. Literally, it's going to be a shock to the system, hitting you like a Mack truck. We go from literally t-shirt weather, flip-flops, and putting on the sunscreen today, although really the UV rays are only on the moderate side at about a 3.5. You can be out there basically all day long. But 77 degrees, dropping to 39 Wednesday afternoon. That's over a 35-degree drop, and in fact, it's basically close to 40 degrees, more so than 35. I mean, that's a wild ride there. But when it comes down to the morning low temperature, we're talking 18 degrees with wind gusting at about 20 to 30 miles per hour. So that 18 degrees tomorrow morning may feel like 8 degrees, the single digits. Now, don't get me wrong. We've dealt with this before, right? We've dealt with this in the midst of our winter season. And in fact, we've gotten negative wind chill values all the way down to almost negative 50, right? We've gotten around negative 30, negative 40. But we've been dealing with such warm weather, we're starting to get used to it. So we got to get back to this. We got to get back and used to getting into this winter kind of concept. So 4 Ps. We want to check those. Your pipes, your pets, your plants, and your people, right? Any exposed outdoor pipes, want to wrap them up, get them ready to go for this winter kind of blast. Also, wouldn't be a bad idea to turn your faucets on. Make sure that we have a little bit of a steady stream. That way they don't freeze on you. Any outdoor pets or any outdoor potted plants, bring them back indoors. Now's the time to do that so they can stay warm and safe. And when it comes down to your people, just make sure that you're checking on maybe your elderly family or friends, or perhaps somebody who may not necessarily know how to help themselves and this kind of chill to prepare for it. You want to help them. Make sure that they're ready for it. Now listen, this is not a long-lived situation, okay? By the time we make it into Thursday, we're back into the middle 50s. By Friday, mid to upper 60s. And by the weekend, we're back to the 70s again. So we've got this roller coaster ride that we're doing to the atmosphere, and it's literally one low pressure system pulling cold air out of Canada, and then an area of high pressure coming in and pulling in warmer air out of central Mexico. And we're doing this battle for the next few days here. All right, that continues on in towards our weekend outlook. We've got another wet weather threat that we're going to be monitoring here for Sunday into Monday. Could bring in a little bit of a drop in our temperatures, but we're still looking to be above average overall. All right, so that's what's up literally in the next 24 hours. What'll be happening in the next hour, or really half hour from now, is this. We've got ourselves a fire weather warning in place for the metro and many of us across the viewing region, right? It goes almost to the Iowa border there. But you can see it does envelop areas of Platte County, just to the south of Buchanan County and St. Joe, and that continues all the way over towards Livingston County. What does this mean? This means we've got exceptionally dry conditions. And with the combination of wind increasing through the day and warm weather, we could get into a brush fire, wildfire, or grass fire threat, something fierce. If you're a smoker, hey, no big deal, but you want to dispose of those cigarettes or cigars the appropriate way. If you're driving down the highway and you're thinking about flicking out that cigarette to the side of the road, really, really bad idea. If you're doing any kind of planned burning in your backyard or your front yard, call your local fire department first. Make sure that they know about it, and to make sure that you're even allowed to do that because of the conditions that we're in throughout the next 12 hours or so. This is up by 11 a.m. in the next 20 minutes, and it's going to continue on until 6 p.m. Once we get to 6 p.m., we anticipate to lift this because we're going to start to get involved with that next frontal boundary and the snowfall threat. And then we're going to tack on a wind advisory. Oh, pardon me. Let's try to go backwards, and we'll get to those gusts in just a quick second. We are going to get into a wind advisory. This is due to the wind gusts getting over 40 miles per hour. Now, that starts at 6 p.m. tonight and will continue till 3 o'clock in the morning, all right? Now, with that being said, we're still looking at breezy conditions today, but it's going to be around 25 to 30 mile per hour breezy conditions by mid to late this afternoon. Basically around the time the kids are getting home from school and the time that we're gonna peak with our warmth at around 77 degrees. So be ready still for a breeze out there, but the gustiest conditions are going to come in by that early evening, just ahead of that front and area of low pressure that will impact us with that wet weather frozen precip opportunity. So I want you to be prepared for that. I'm going to give you one more look here. We're going to go straight into the 7-day forecast and show you what we're looking at here across the board to literally show you this roller coaster ride that we're on here. All right, we go from 77 to 39, 39 to 55, 55 to the 60s, and then we're already back into the 70s as we move on in towards the weekend. Now notice Sunday's forecast, 20%, but I got a thunderstorm icon there. It's because it's more likely we could see a couple of isolated storms rather than just a shower threat. And it's looking more likely towards the end of the day and transferring into our Monday. We need more data on this, but it's looking more and more likely that we're going to see some form of wet, inclement weather getting closer to next week. So we wanted to kind of warn you about it now. Not enough for a first warn, but just give you a heads up that we could be seeing some of that inclement weather. But it definitely sees just this kind of up, down, right back up again. And by Monday, we could be talking about upper 50s and lower 60s because this is a storm system that may usher in a slightly cooler pattern. Remember, average high temperature, 47, 48 degrees. So we are still way above average, and it still feels like spring. We're just visiting winter one more time here. But nonetheless, it's still going to be a shock. Want you to be ready for it. All right, friends, I'm going to bring you back out live to the city here. It's a stunning forecast today. Enjoy it. Seize the day. Carpe diem it, right? Just be ready for a bit of a breeze through the day and hopefully get yourself indoors and start turning